As you know, today we're going to begin our senior speeches, and I'd ask you that you pay close attention and please put away your telephones. Just a reminder that we're guests in this chapel, so please don't bring food in here and clean up after yourselves. And I know that a lot of hard work went into these 9 talks we're about to hear. There's some anxious students, so I want you to help encourage them and bring them along, and please be engaged and respectful. Sedley Bennett is going to start us off.
Hi, my name is Sedley Bennett, and I'm a 4-year senior from West Palm Beach, Florida. I have two sisters, and my older sister graduated from Suffield Academy in 2013. My freshman year, I took my first photography class and loved it. I loved the darkroom and the developing process for film. Film is so different than digital. You have a close connection to your photography because you are what causes every change in the photo. You create it. Watching each step from seeing your negatives to seeing your final print is incredible to me. This is a slideshow of my photos as it starts with my film photography and moves slowly into my digital photography. Thank you.
My name is Drea Breck, and I'm a 4-year senior from Westchester, New York. Being at Suffield Academy for 4 years really shows you how much you can love and appreciate being here. Coming into Suffield as a freshman, I knew that I already loved the amount of community and support that Suffield has to offer. What I didn't know was that I would love the people I got to meet here as much as I do. I made a video of the people that I love and the friends that I have made from Suffield. I'm sorry to everyone in this video, and I hope you all enjoy.
And mother here or there? What?
You like jazz?
On the room before you came, excuse the mess we made, it usually doesn't.
It's the Eye of the Tigers, the Kingdom of the Night.
So my name is Ava Hafner, and this is my 4th year at the Academy. Oh, and before I forget, Mr. Crosman, I have a little tribute. So for my chapel, I will be showing a video. I came up with the idea a couple months ago, and I've just been rolling with it since. The video is a little taste of what my experience has been here at Suffield. It doesn't capture all of it, but there are some good clips in there that really capture this place. Regardless of whether you're in the video or not, everyone here has made an impact on me some way or another. So I'd like to thank the Academy, shout out to Charlie and Zach for helping me out, and a huge shout out to my advisor, Miss Cook, who I could not have done this without. She does so much for the school. She's pretty low-key, but she really is the best. The past 3 years have been unforgettable, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this last year for me brings. Thank you, Suffield. So without further ado, enjoy.
I know when to go out, know when to stay in, get things done. I catch a paper boy, but things don't really change. I'm standing in the wind, but
my name is Jovana, for those of you who don't know. So I'm a 3-year senior here at Suffield, and surprise, I will be talking about Serbia, which is where I'm from. And before I start, here's just a quick video to introduce Serbia.
Do you know anything about Serbia?
I don't know anything about Serbia, besides that it's in Europe.
Have you heard of Serbia?
Yes, I've heard of Serbia.
And what do you know about Serbia?
I know that it's a country.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Do you think Serbia is safe?
It doesn't sound safe.
Have you heard of Serbia?
I have not heard of Serbia, no.
¿Has oído de Serbia?
Ay, sí, mi hijo pobrecito.
¿Qué?
Ay, de los niños, ¿no?
No,
De los que
that's Syria.
Ah,
Serbia.
entonces no sé.
Have you heard of Serbia?
Serbia? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know about Serbia?
There was a war there in the 90s.
Yeah. Have you heard of Serbia?
I have heard of Serbia. I don't know pretty much anything about it, though. Never been.
Do you know where Serbia is?
The continent is definitely Asia, bro, but...
Asia.
Yeah,
Okay.
but...
Do you think Serbia is safe?
Dude, at these times, I'm not even sure if I think any kind of country...
I am not from Russia, and I'm not from Syria, and I'm not from Siberia. So geographically speaking, Serbia is located in the Balkan area, which is in Europe. So make sure you know that the next time I tell you where I'm from. If you come to Serbia, you will be welcomed with our traditional drink rakia, which unfortunately we're still not allowed to drink, but I'm just putting it out there because it's very traditional and famous in my country. So before I get to the point, I just want to name a few important things about Serbia that I think you should know. So 1, we are the #1 producer of raspberries, which I think is pretty cool. 2, for all the history people, 17 of the Roman rulers were in fact born in Serbia. 3, for all my language people, the word vampire comes from Serbia. 4, one of my personal favorite landmarks in Serbia is in fact the Sveti Sava temple, which is also one of the biggest Orthodox Christian temples in the world. 5, Serbia is also the birthplace of many greats such as Nikola Tesla, Mikhailo Pupin, Ivo Andrić, and of course Novak Djokovic. In Serbia, mark my word, you will never be hungry and you will never be bored. The amazing people, always happy, hanging out, are gonna make your stay in Serbia unforgettable. So for those of you who are maybe planning to visit Serbia or maybe even move in there, I have a few quick tips that I think you must know in order to become a Serb. 1, use the word bre in every single one of your sentences. If you're wondering what this word means, it literally means nothing, but it will add a lot of emotions and excitement to your sentence. So for example, you would say, how are you bre? 2, create a special playlist with the top turbo folk hits. So this is one of my personal favorite songs.
Ljubio sam usne sa kojih med kaplje.
Raise your hand if you think this is weird, because, yeah, it's okay. A lot of people do. But trust me, if you come to Serbia, the more turbo folk songs you know, the better your stay will be. And trust me on this one. 3, when you meet someone or when you want to greet somebody, make sure to kiss them 3 times on the cheek, not twice. If you kiss them twice, you will look extremely weird, and we don't want that. 4, make sure to buy a religious calendar and hang it in your kitchen. So don't hang it in your bedroom, don't hang it in your living room, but hang it in the kitchen. The good thing about this is that you can get it for free if you buy a newspaper, so it's quite convenient. 5, eat burek every day with yogurt. You might gain like 100 pounds, but that is okay because it's cheesy and greasy and everybody loves that, right? Yeah? Okay. Another food thing, I'm sorry if I'm making you guys hungry, but food in Serbia is simply the best, and especially our bread. We eat bread with everything. Pasta, pizza, meat, soup, vegetables, literally name it, we eat it with everything. Especially the white bread, it's super soft, especially on the inside. Okay, this one is very serious and very dear to my heart. So you have to make sure when you come to Serbia that you know at what time, where, when Novak Djokovic is playing. He is basically like the god of our country, and feel free to call him your brother. He's the best in the world. And when he plays, say, Ajde Nole. 8, in Serbia, you will become a huge fan of Serbian national teams, but only when they are winning. This is a quick video to show you how Serbia celebrated when our national basketball team won second place in the World Cup. Also, this is not weird. This happens every time. This happened when our water polo team won first place. This literally happens all the time, and I was able to attend it, and it was amazing. The atmosphere is just phenomenal. So, number 9, you will have to start working out more. You will need strong muscles in order to be able to stand at 8 a.m. in a bus for quite some time. And as you can see, these buses are very, very old. They're very smelly also, and they're always crowded to the fullest. Number 10, promaja. Sorry. This is basically when 2 windows or doors are open at once. This is deadly. At least that's what my grandma says. You can read kind of what it says, but I think I explained it pretty well. It's deadly and stay away from it. 11, I know it's really bad for you, but you will have to get used to people smoking cigarettes, unfortunately, because a lot of Serbians smoke. If you think going to a restaurant will help you, it will make you have a peaceful lunch or dinner, you are completely wrong, because wherever you go, whether inside or outside, people are going to be smoking. I'm very sorry about this, but it's true. 12, when you hear your favorite song on the radio, club, or restaurant, make sure to scream "Joj." It's basically the Serbian way of Americans saying, "Oh my God, I love this song." 13, if you plan to hold a certain celebration in Serbia, such as like a wedding or a birthday party, this is kind of what it's going to look like.
DJ
Coxie. Or like this. If you happen to visit someone's grandparents, make sure you eat all the food they give you. If you don't, they will hate you forever, and if you do, they will love you forever. The reason my best friend is my best friend is because she eats all the food my grandma gives her. 15, if you ever plan to go somewhere in Serbia, make sure it's a kafana, because the atmosphere is amazing, and you will meet so many people that are always so happy and glad to talk to you. 16, last but not least, make sure if you ever come to my country, you will be welcomed in the best way imaginable. In Serbia, everybody is family, and remember that. So, see you guys in Serbia. Thank you.
Diversity is a subject that Suffield has always made an effort to address and improve here on campus. By definition, diversity is the condition of having or being composed of differing elements. Suffield, in my experience, fits this description very well. When looking for a secondary school, the diversity of the community was incredibly important to me. Consequently, Suffield's wide range of people is what finalized my decision to come here. Diversity is not only based on race, it's also based on the various backgrounds and lifestyles people have. My freshman year, Ms. Cook asked myself and some other students to help create the congratulations video for the kids that had been accepted into Suffield that year. I was very excited to be a part of something that would represent the school. Here's the video me and 6 of my other classmates helped make.
It's gonna be a good day, and all we're gonna do is smile today. 'Cause we're at Suffield Academy, and we hope you join our family. Hey!
Suffield Academy is where I be. There's so much to do and so much to see. From playing lacrosse and basketball to chilling out in Fuller Hall. But I'm feeling real hungry, so where can I go? Oh, I know, let's take a stroll over to the dining hall where we always have a ball. But first we gotta go through the union. I see all my friends, it's a communion. This is where you want to be.
Here at Suffield Academy.
Walk into class, ready for some math, letting my teachers guide me on my path. So I contemplate how to calculate, and the answer that I formulate gets me an A and makes my day, and later on boosts my GPA.
I'm a lunch waiter, gotta get my tray. When the meal is done, time for some fun. Head across the street where we meet and greet. Sit down with my advisory and let the speaker inspire me.
Our football team always brings the heat. Can we hear it for our 4P? To the turf where they lace up the cleats and all suit up to compete. From soccer to swimming, we've got it all. Sports throughout spring, winter, fall.
It's gonna be a good day, and all we're gonna do is smile today. 'Cause we're at Suffield Academy, and we hope you join our family. Hey!
From Atlantic to Pacific, I can't get specific.
From Norway, China,
Russia and Spain,
in our hearts we're all the same. It's gonna be a good day, and all we're gonna do is smile today. 'Cause we're at Suffield Academy, and we hope you join our family. Hey!
Number 42.
The people you heard in that video were myself, Catherine Khalil, Hannah Arthur, Jonah Perry, Miles Johnson, Bella DeSimone, and Christian Wilkins. All of us have very different backgrounds and stories, as well as the distinctive effects we have or had on Suffield. Starting with Christian's, I'm sure many of you know who Christian Wilkins is. Before he became a national champion, two-time All-American, and an ACC champ, Christian was a great asset to our community. Along with football, he also used his athletic talents in both basketball and track. Christian had great school spirit. He was always one of the first people to show up to either a varsity, JV, thirds, or even a fourths game. Christian is from Springfield, Mass., and always found a way to involve his family with the community here. He was a four-year senior and graduated in 2015. Bella DeSimone is one of my closest friends, who I first met when I was her revisit. Bella took interest in singing and was in women's choir and in the musical In the Heights. Her bubbly personality was well known around campus and was loved by many students and faculty. Bella is from New York City and has two sisters, Gabby, who is currently a junior here at Suffield, and Sophia, who is 9. Bella was a four-year senior and graduated in 2016. She is now in her sophomore year at NYU. While at Suffield, Miles was known as a very kind-hearted and genuine person. He was involved in a theater program and was a member of the boys' varsity basketball team. Miles was also a leader of the Multicultural Association, as well as a head waiter. During multiple alumni and parent events, he worked alongside the kitchen staff to help everything run smoothly. Miles is from Suffield and was a four-year senior and is now in his sophomore year at Johnson & Wales. Hannah Arthur was incredibly involved in her studies, but always made time to be just as involved in our community as well. She was co-leader of SOC, Spirit Committee, and Girl Up. All of those groups were very active on campus in the past year. Her personality is more on the stronger side, but that's what makes Hannah who she is. She became one of my best friends in the 3 years that I knew her. She has a sister, Audrey, who is now a junior here at Suffield. They're from New Jersey, and Hannah graduated this past spring as a four-year senior. She is now in her freshman year at Brown. Being involved in our community was something that Jonah took great pride in. He was a member of the varsity water polo and swim team here. Jonah had the ability to make people feel welcome, and that was heavily valued. He participated in Suffield's Amazing Race with Mr. Foot, which made for a very entertaining season. Jonah has lived and traveled all around the world, and now he lives in Chile. He graduated alongside Catherine and Hannah as a three-year senior. He is now a freshman at IE Business School in Madrid, Spain. While Catherine was here, she was heavily involved in our music program, as well as some of the varsity sports teams. She was co-leader of Spirit Committee, along with Hannah, and co-leader of MCA, along with Miles. Catherine constantly starred in the musicals here, as well as the fall and spring guitar shows. Many of the faculty kids were drawn to Catherine's friendly personality. If Catherine wasn't hanging out with her friends, she was most likely with Mrs. Nauman's daughters, Mr. Zanussi and Mrs. P's son Luca, or Mr. Lynch's son Gus. Her empathy and compassion were much appreciated on campus. Catherine is from Massachusetts and was a four-year senior who graduated this past spring. She is currently at Holy Cross for her freshman year. All of these people you heard about today are different, whether it be in the most minute or largest detail. They all go to show how you can have an impact on our community in various ways. Diversity is a key element to life here at Suffield and is part of the reason why it's so special. Thank you.
Hello, Suffield. My name is Dana Mills, and I'm a 3-year senior from Stamford, Connecticut. Since as far back as I can remember, my parents have always preached the importance of having a strong work ethic in many different aspects of my life, whether that be in the classroom, on an athletic team, and especially when it comes to money and having a job. That being said, as soon as I was able to work, I made sure I got a job. But being as high maintenance as I am, one job wasn't enough, considering I spend my money a lot faster than I earn it. The idea of having 2 jobs and making my own money made me happier than I could have ever imagined, because asking my parents for $20 here and there wasn't going to cut it anymore. This past summer, I had the opportunity to work 2 jobs at the same time. One being a manager, chef, and cashier on a high-end seafood food truck, and then a waitress at a much more relaxed pizzeria in the middle of downtown. Every day I worked both jobs, I encountered the same type of people. On the truck, I always dealt with customers who had money, wore exquisite suits, Dior sunglasses, and were willing to spend $25 on a single lobster roll. And in the pizzeria, I typically served customers that were hesitant to up the ante for an extra 25 cents from a regular slice of pizza to one with pepperoni. It was a super eye-opening experience going from one job to the other, because I noticed that the people that I dealt with at one were polar opposites from the people at the other. Some had everything they needed and more, and while others not so much. There was one night in particular when I worked that I met a man who seemingly had nothing. One evening while business was slow at the pizzeria, I stood outside the storefront and handed out these little promotional cards. And when I tell you this was by far the worst part of my job, I couldn't stress it anymore. Because you know those people in the mall who try and force their little flyers and samples in your face as you walk away and try to sway you to buy their product with their cheesy lines, despite the fact that you try and keep your head straight and look at them awkwardly and say, "Sorry, not today." Well, for 2 hours out of my 6-hour shift, that was a part of my job. I hated the feeling of being rejected and ignored from those around me. And at this point in my shift, I handed out probably 2 out of the over 100 cards in my hand. While doing this, I looked to my left because I was triggered by this clanking sound that was driving me crazy. And I saw this man pushing a broken-down shopping cart coming towards me full of dirty clothes, half-eaten food, crumpled napkins, and other miscellaneous things sticking out from the grates of the cart. Because of what he looked like, I assumed he was homeless and was going to ask for my money. I found myself fidgeting and averting my eyes, thinking in the back of my head, oh great, I just got to work, I barely made any tips, and now here comes this homeless man, and he's gonna beg me for money, and I just haven't even made that much tonight. To my surprise, he stopped, took a card, and said, I know what it feels like to be rejected when you need someone to just do something for you. He then took a moment to shuffle around in his cart, and he handed me an index card and smiled. The index card read, David Bond, creative genius, a P.O. box address, and then write me to learn more. In my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I can find out more about him, talk about him in my upcoming chapel speech for school, and conclude with a super strong message about giving a voice to the homeless. Boom, easy, show the video and be done, because the last thing I wanted to do was be up here speaking. So I asked him if he would be okay with me interviewing him and videotaping it so I could present it to all of you, and he said yes. At the end of our conversation, I gave him a slice of pizza, $10, and we decided to meet at a small restaurant the next day. The next day, I brought my friend Ariana with me to film the interview. So we sat down and I tried to buy him lunch, but he refused. And even when I tried to buy my own Snapple, he said, don't worry, I'll just have him put it on my tab. So I was like, Ari, this homeless man has nothing and he's willing to spend the $10 I gave him yesterday on food for us? During the interview, I asked him questions like, what's your average day like? Where did you sleep last night? Did you attend school? How can the citizens of Stamford, Connecticut help people in your situation? And are your pants the bathroom, or is your bathroom in your pants? When I asked him, he looked at me puzzled and responded that he was a graduate of Boston College who would wake up, go feed the birds in the morning, go on walks, meet new people, and then go back home and sleep in his apartment where he would use his toilet. Anyone that knows me knows that I cannot hide my facial expressions at all. So you can only imagine the look on my face when David basically told me he just wasn't even homeless. I looked at my friend Ari, who was dying, because she was just as shocked as I was. Fast forward to this past Friday. I was thinking about how disappointed I was with his answers to my questions because they weren't what I was expecting or hoping for at all. But I was even more disappointed with myself. I looked at this man and I made an assumption because of what he looked like, and the judgment I made was clearly embarrassing and wrong. I may never know why David took the money, pizza, and the offer of a lunch date, but what David has taught me is the pursuit of happiness does not depend on the money you make. You do not have to be the person who has all the riches in the world and spend $25 on a lobster roll just to impress your friends to be happy. But instead, be the person you want to be. Eat the plain slice instead of the lobster, wear the clothes that you want to wear, and ignore the judgments that come from it. And even, if it comes down to it, push around a broken shopping cart, meet new people, and feed birds all day, if that is what truly makes you happy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erin Hayes, and I'm happy to be off crutches this year. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. Everything was in line. I came to a great school, met amazing friends, started on the varsity soccer team, was excited for basketball season, colleges were recruiting me for basketball, and then everything was gone when I tore my ACL at a basketball showcase. We all are faced with challenges and hit with adversity when we least expect it, but we have two choices. We can either persevere or quit when times are tough. There were days when I wanted to quit, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't fun crushing to class up and down hills, falling down the stairs, lugging my books to class, sitting on the sideline during both basketball and soccer season, and being unable to participate in school dances, the color run, or any activity that required the use of your legs. When I had to watch from the sideline for both soccer and basketball season last year, I felt a sense of isolation from my team. You hear about professional athletes that have these injuries, and the announcers relay that the hardest part is feeling isolated from your teammates, and I was going through that. I had been attending integrated rehab in Suffield since my surgery October 11th and was soon denied by my insurance for further visits 2 months after my ACL reconstruction. Luckily, my dad was watching a press conference of Tom Brady in December of last year and noticed he was wearing a TB12 hat. My dad thought my brother and I would like TB12 apparel like that, so we looked it up. My dad did not arrive at an apparel store, but he arrived at a homepage for a rehabilitation center in Foxborough, Massachusetts, owned by Tom Brady and his best friend Alex Guerrero, named TB12. My dad called the number listed and inquired about ACL rehabilitation there. As seen in my first picture, I met Tom Brady my first day at TB12. ACL rehabilitation is not easy nor fun to go through. As I said before, you're constantly faced with bumps in the road and adversity that makes you want to quit. The path to rehab sucks, but it was made more valuable given this opportunity. Having Josh McDaniels come in 3 days after the Super Bowl and working out beside me, working out next to Gronk as he is rehabbing his back, seeing a whole slew of Patriots players during my visits, such as Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, and Julian Edelman, made the rehab process more enjoyable. I'm beyond thankful for the opportunity to attend TB12 and be a part of the TB12 Foundation. In the end, all my hard work the past 12 months has paid off as I am back to playing soccer, looking forward to basketball season, I'm back on the recruiting trail for college basketball. Adversity will at some point find all of us and may come in many different forms. How we handle that adversity ultimately will come to define each of us as individuals. Quitting and feeling sorry for ourselves is always easier, but to find success, we must follow a different and oftentimes more difficult path. But the reward is always worth the work. If there is one thing that you take from this speech, let it be, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben Bonavita, and I'm a day student from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. A few summers ago, I had to read a book for summer reading called Where Men Win Glory by Jon Krakauer. Although I don't always enjoy my summer reading, this is a book I will never forget. After reading the book, I was amazed at what I had read and the impact it had on me. I had discovered a new role model. The biography is a book about the life of Pat Tillman. For those of you who do not know who Pat Tillman is, he turned down a $3.6 million NFL contract and joined the military following the 9/11 attacks. 3 years later, on April 22nd, 2004, at the young age of 27, Pat Tillman was killed in Afghanistan. The book discusses Tillman's strong character and his love for life. While playing in the NFL, many of his teammates drove fancy cars to the stadium every day. Tillman preferred to wear flip-flops and ride his bike. It was his outlook on life that caught my attention. His strong passion and following what he believed in is why he's a hero to so many. Everyone who talks about him discusses his courage, passion, and his drive, which are all great qualities to have. To me, he is a role model and exemplifies qualities that I wish to have. Since reading the book, I view him as a role model, and I will continue to do so in the years to come. I hope to have the courage Pat Tillman carried and follow my heart as he did. Lastly, I will leave you with a quote from him. "Somewhere inside, we hear a voice. It leads us in the direction of the person we wish to become, but it is up to us whether or not to follow." And here's a short video on his life.
A hero both on the football field and the battlefield. Many people knew Pat Tillman as the undersized player with an oversized heart.
Pat Tillman knocked the helmet off of Isaac Byrd.
Pat Tillman died April 22, 2004 on the Afghan-Pakistan border, ambushed fighting Taliban and Afghan forces. Hundreds of soldiers have been killed in battle. Why does Tillman stand out? Because his story is very special.
Pat Tillman on the play.
Tillman began his football career at Arizona State University. He was the littlest big guy on the field, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall. Doug Tamero, friend of Tillman and media coordinator at ASU, had a chance 2 months ago to have dinner with Tillman.
It was just fun to be around. And that night, you know, I never get dessert. I got dessert. Never drink coffee after a meal. I got coffee because I did not want the night to end. I kind of want it to be like Groundhog Day. You know, I just want the day to come back and come back and come back.
While at ASU, Tillman was crowned Pac-10 Player of the Year. He was also a star in the classroom as well.
I mean, he was a 3.8 student. It's amazing that he wasn't a 4.0. I'd never want to see the classes that he didn't get an A in.
After completing his college career, Tillman moved on to the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals for 4 years. The terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001 changed everything for Tillman.
My great-grandfather was at Pearl Harbor, and a lot of my family has given up, you know, has gone and fought in wars, and I really haven't done a damn thing as far as laying myself on the line like that, and so I have a great deal of respect for those that have and what the flag stands for.
Following this interview, Tillman made the decision to walk away from a $3.6 million contract with the Cardinals and join the elite Army Rangers with his brother Kevin. Pat's family and friends received news of his death on a Thursday and knew that he was not coming home.
I think that Pat Tillman was probably the gentlest, caring guy around that my brother and I knew, my family knew.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of people have made their way out to Sun Devil Stadium to pay their respects to Pat Tillman. Some soldiers have even stopped by to drop off medals they have won in the battlefield. In fact, one soldier dropped off the Purple Heart.
Pat Tillman is a true example of a human being.
He's special, and ASU should be proud they had him.
He gave his life for our country to fight for us.
He may have gone before us, but you know what? We're all going to catch up with him in a place that's better.
You know, he'll be my hero, he'll be my daughter's hero, he's my wife's hero.
Pat Tillman never stopped looking for new challenges on the field and in life. When he found them, he met them head on. He made the ultimate sacrifice when he chose patriotism over a paycheck. A hero that will never be forgotten. A statement that will live on with the spirit of Pat Tillman.
Hello, Suffield Academy students. My name is Niamani Marshall, and I'm a PG from Jersey. I went to Bayonne High School, and I didn't get the offers I wanted, so that's what resulted in my PG year. Last October, I played in the IYM Inspiring Young Minds Showcase, and that's when I was introduced to Suffield Academy. The community here has opened their arms and has welcomed me into their home. I never truly understood the meaning of having a second home, but now I do. I've met plenty of new people and became close with a few. Shout out to Dana, Bailey, Ramona, Mariah, Julian, Aaliyah, and Laura. Suffield Academy is an entire new world that I'm still trying to get used to. The past 2 weeks have been a blast, and I'm glad that I chose Suffield. My passion for basketball is like no other, and that is what inspired me to show you this film today.
Everyone for your forbearance in the heat. You're all excused.